Welcome back, everybody, to Sin and Punishment Star Successor. Today we're taking on more tough challenges. Orion Sang is back, and this time he's in a better built battleship than when we simply faced him with only his energy-made shield. So he's got a bit of tricks up his sleeve, different tactics to his arsenal than he had before. For one thing, he's got these annoying parallel running snakes that go all over the screen in order to fire out a lot of fire at you, a lot of firepower, a lot of bullets to barrage in and be dodging. A good way to take out their bodies is to either melee them or use a charge shot to get rid of many body segments at once. Charge shot is usually the way to go, and before you really get to the good part of fighting the core of Sang, you have to more or less worry about the snakes. But if you see him sticking up out of his little coffin control center there, because that's the only time he's vulnerable is when he's out of the ship, then feel free to use a charge shot. These snakes are so annoying, especially when they use a bunch of bullets like that, making the path to do Z dodges sometimes near impossible. Look at this. We're destroying every body segment, and they don't care. They're like, nope, we're still going to shoot out of the little pores in the center of our joints here. I guess the head is not destructible. I'm trying to save my charge shots for Sangy over there. There he is. Say cheese, bitches. Okay, good. He's in the yellow. I don't think Sang is this difficult of a boss. It's more or less knowing the strategy to beating him that really will stop people sometimes. You really want to focus on eliminating these parallel running snakes, as I mentioned before. But instead of wasting charge shots on them like I did initially, maybe using melee is the best strategy, because then you can continue to use charge shots for Sang before going into the secondary phase of this fight. The grab me gotcha face, as I'll call it for this. He shoots out tentacles out the front of his ship, out of the chest of it, all the while shooting tons and tons of plasma weapons, some anti-dark matter weapons near the back. So here's my best strategy. I fly around the front, constantly using a Z-dash, because that will remain you away from the plasma weapons as well as that giant squid tentacle that tries to grasp you for lunch if you just keep Z-dashing around. He can't touch you in this form. He has not even hurt me yet, and all you have to do is save your charge shot up when you get to the top of him, and he'll try to point out with his turrets. That's when you nail him with the charge shot. Just keep going around, because by the time you get back up to the top of him, your charge shot will be usually all cooled down. You'll really have no troubles with this fight. He looks more menacing than he actually is, but when it comes to practical battle, Sang still sucks. Hibaru Yaju, however, can tend to be a lot harder. For one thing, she makes two copies of herself that are both deadly, and they use combined attacks and strategies to try and get you to fall into the other one's ploy. Like this, you'll have one of her halves trying to direct you into that green beam, as you still have to fend off one of them, while it's an optimal time to use a charge shot on the one that is launching the beam, because they're staying there, so you'll have a better accuracy position, because she's moving all around the screen here. I find a good way to get rid of that double of herself, the one half that keeps trying to interrupt you and knock you into the green beam, is quickly use the melee attack. They tend to fly back very well in this game. You can see when you land a mark on them, because look at that, she bleeds blue blood out the side of her one half when she's hit with major damage. So that's how you know the melee is very effective. Try not to get stuck in between their double attacking maneuvers like that. If you do, of course, just go ahead and melee out of it and fire upon will. Charge shots are good against any of the halves. Don't worry about attacking one over the other. Each one takes damage for the entire life bar, so if you can do damage to any of them, it's recommended. Don't just be nitpicky towards one half, because that will not be any benefit to you. And this is another great fight since you're going to be doing a lot of dodging, especially when they get this kind of wiring of blue and red. I don't know why they do that. It seems to limit their mobility. But it's good to, when you're in this dodging move, always remember the A target. It's your best friend in this game, especially for bosses. Maybe when you're on the main level missions on the overworld and you're attacking as much as you can, probably not the best thing to use the A target, but while carefully maneuvering around all this massive damaging attacks, it's good to hold the A. Not even hold, just click, and it will be targeted for you. So with a bunch of good Z dodging, charge shots, and physical melee attacks, Hiboru has been eliminated.
So be it. I'll injure myself. In giving that monster refuge, your true power emerges. Excellent. I've been anxious to see what you're truly capable of. But you're not the only one who can transform. Now, accept your punishment.